today at Joyfully Made, we are back to talking about living in our purpose by embracing our identity, who God created us to be, and realizing that the more we get to know Him, the more we get to know ourselves. Before we get started, I want to welcome you if you are new here. My name is Shelly, and I love to just have real conversations. I love to talk about Jesus, and I just love to talk about all things women, feminine heart, you name it. Let's talk about it. Okay. Within good boundaries. Don't go crazy with that one, okay? And also, if you have been enjoying this content, it would be amazing if you would hit the subscribe button, the like, feel free to comment. And I did mention in the last episode, I have been creating some playlists for you. I created a music playlist for you to just enjoy some amazing worship songs. There's like 50 there, some of my favorites. And then also a watch playlist that has like podcasts and sermons. And I'll just keep building it. But I want Joyfully Made to be a place where you can come and find some great resources. And again, you will always find in the descriptions any books that I talk about, because I do love reading. All of that information. And if you are not in the Joyfully Made community Facebook group, please come over and join that. I am hoping in the fall to dive into like maybe a book study. Lots of good ideas. I just can't do it on my own. Well, I technically could, but I so much would rather do it with you, because that's why I'm here. I don't want to do life alone. Let's do it together. Okay, let's get back to talking about purpose. So last week we talked about the wife of noble character, how she was someone who feared the Lord, and she was phenomenal. I mean, she laughs without fear of the future. She gets to wear linen and purple gowns. She provides income for other people. She bought a vineyard. She delegates. She is a blessing to her husband. She is pretty incredible. And rather than being intimidated by her, I am always so inspired by the fact that if I am a woman who fears the Lord, I can thrive and not just survive. So sick of surviving. Give me a hands up if you are so sick of surviving, legit. Throw it in the comments. Are you sick of surviving? Me too. Okay, so we're not gonna shoulda, woulda, coulda on ourselves in this episode. We're not gonna start making should lists. The homework from last week was I just wanted you to think about what lights you up, because at the end of the day, I think purpose is gonna light us up. I don't think God is gonna create us with a purpose where we'd rather put a fork in our eye than do His purpose. That would make no sense to me. That's not God. He created us all with individual things that get us excited. And yes, it's probably going to make you feel vulnerable, because anytime we do something that's really true to us, it's going to involve our heart. And that's going to be vulnerable, but that's okay. We're going to keep working through this stuff. All right. So like I said, we have 3 points, but I'm not getting to the points just yet. So I have been reading this book, and I've only done part 1. It's so good. And it's actually like jam-packed full of really good information. I'm kind of tempted to like read part 1 again before I move on. Also really thinking of doing this book in the fall as a study. Not sure how I would do that. If we would just do it in the group, if we would find a way to do it on here. I'll keep you in the loop. Okay. Anyways, the book is called The Garden Within, and it is by Dr. Anita Phillips. Again, the link will be in the description, and it is so good. And she talks about the garden as like being the soil. The soil is your heart, right? Everything flows from finding that healthy heart. She also is like a doctor. She's a therapist. And so she knows a lot about like emotions, embracing our emotions. Oh, it's probably why I love the book so much, because I don't know how to embrace my emotions. Still a learning curve for Shelly over here. Although if you watch some of my episodes where I just start crying, I guess I can't say that anymore. I cry a lot. Perimenopause, I don't know what else. Okay. Anyways, so this book is awesome, and she actually has like in part 1 a section about purpose. I'm just going to briefly touch on some of the stuff she said, because again, like there's a lot there and I won't totally do it justice, but I feel like it's going to help lend to this conversation. So when she talks about purpose, she explains it as a seed-bearing plant. So a seed-bearing plant is one that, I guess, produces more seeds. She kind of explains it like a wheat field. Okay, don't get lost on that. I did make some notes here. Okay, seed-bearing plant were created to sustain by producing food. They meet that need. Purpose meets a need, right? Living on purpose. Ask yourself what need you desire to meet. Okay. Personal example here. Now, again, this is where I don't want you to get all like, oh, I need to make a list of all the needs I need to meet. Okay? No, that's not the point. But obviously, when we live on purpose, it's going to meet a need because that's the way we're created to be. First of all, like we're not created to just serve ourselves, right? We know that. We are created for a reason. Life is pretty bland when we are just focused on ourselves, okay? So I think that's what we need to focus on is when it says meet a need, it just means let's open our eyes and look around us and let's find what lights us up. Okay. I'm just going to give you a personal example here. So, and it kind of just fits with all of it, but I am obviously very social, believe it or not. I don't just like talking to cameras. I like talking to humans too. And when I first got married, I was very super picky about keeping a clean house. Like, anal, oof, okay. Not judging those of you who are, okay? Let me finish my story. Anyways, so there was a time and my house was clean. And I remember sitting there and thinking, I would rather have a messy house full of people and love and community than this clean, empty, lonely house. And I ended up, so I ran a day home for 20 years. So I was always a stay-at-home mom. And over time, I ended up hosting different things. One time, that I think this was maybe before I was running a day home, but I would host a morning Bible study and they would bring all their kids. Oh my gosh, they would make such a mess in the basement. But at the end of that, my cup was always so full. I did not mind at all going to clean it up. Later in life, when I was running like a really busy day home, every Wednesday, during the kids' quiet time, I would have women over and we would have coffee and snacks and we would just visit. And man, that just filled my cup. And by me leaning into, my purpose was maybe not to have a perfect house. Now, do I still like a tidy house? Yes. But I have come a long way. And if I hadn't leaned into that part of me that loves to connect and just host and have people over, I never would have been able to experience and have all of those moments and those joys. And again, it filled my cup and it probably filled their cup. Like a lot of women met other women. It was a community. Sometimes it was smaller, sometimes it was bigger. But again, that's just one of my examples of me being me. It was very natural for me to have people over. That lights me up. Does that make sense? Okay, I want you to start thinking about what lights you up. Purpose is productive. Being productive according to their various kind. They have a goal. Okay, that is so cool. I really love that she put that. So again, this is where the comparing comes in, okay? Like a wheat plant just produces wheat. If a wheat plant one day decided, so I think I'm going to make barley now, the barley would probably be like, what the heck are you doing? You don't know how to make barley. You're a wheat plant. And the wheat plant's like, nope, I don't like that I was created to be a wheat seed plant guy. And now I'm going to be an apple tree. Like that makes no sense. But how often do we do that? How often do we sit back and decide that we're going to, we don't love our gifts. We don't love what we are, and we're going to go all and be a pear tree or a cherry tree or, whatever we find appealing. Okay? No, we're going to be productive, and we're going to be productive being ourselves and what lights us up. Okay, she says, what gifts do I have to offer? I love that. What gifts do you have to offer? this is a super cool example. So I have a coworker, just the sweetest lady, and most of my coworkers I would call friends, to be honest. But when my husband was laid off, she was just asking how we were doing, if she could help out. She's like, could I bring you some food? I have some roasts. Like, so sweet. And at Christmas time, she's an amazing baker, and she had given me some Christmas baking. And it was so good. And my husband was like, oh, he was just in love with it. And I mentioned her baking. So what did she do? She leaned into who she was, what lights her up. And she baked us like little mini chocolate cakes. And she texted me one day. She's like, are you home? I have something to drop off. And she dropped off little chocolate cakes with cherries and whipping cream. And it was so amazing. And I think that is like the perfect example of that human. I don't think she minds. Her name is Cheryl. I hope she doesn't mind that I said that. But Cheryl being Cheryl, and she took that opportunity she filled a need, right? Purpose 1, she filled a need. Part of purpose 2 is she was just being herself. She loves baking. That was something she could do to in turn meet a need, bless me in our stressful situation. Amazing. Isn't that amazing? That's such a good story, right? You can do that. I mean, maybe you don't want to bake a cake, but getting too excited here. What I want you to start to think is just what lights you up, okay? Don't complicate it. Don't make a list. If you started making a should list, you're on my list. You're on my list. Okay. Okay, bear with me here. Oh, here we go. Okay, the last one she points out is purpose is relational. What is my role in my community? Which is your relationships. Okay, so again, they all really do connect. Of course, purpose is relational because, well, it's not just about us. If our purpose was to get up every morning and serve ourselves, well, we all know what that would look like. It's not fulfilling, and that's why we are all sitting here saying there must be more, right? Because we're all sick of surviving. Okay, so we have purpose fills a need. We have purpose is productive, and it's about being you. It's not about being a different plant. The minute you start comparing yourself, just remember the whole like plant scenario and be like, oh crap, no, I was created to be, I want to be a bunch of grapes. Just pick a fruit that you like. Just pick a fruit that you like. Okay, like, ooh, if I could have a mango tree, I would love a mango tree. A mango tree or an avocado tree. Literally said that to my husband the other day. I was like, someday, let's own a place with a mango tree and an avocado tree. Like, that's really far-fetched because we live in Canada. Like, you might get apples, you know? Maybe you get a raspberry bush. I like raspberries. But you know what I'm saying, okay? The minute you start comparing, be like, no. Like, just take a minute now and pick a fruit that you love and be like, I'm going to be that fruit. It's probably not bananas. I do eat bananas all the time. Okay, but that's because they're cheap and affordable. Here is where your 3 points come in. Although that was kind of like 3 points. But these are 3 new points. These are 3 points that I made up. Okay, this is how we are going to start living in our purpose. The first thing we're going to do, number 1, you're allowed to write this down, is stop focusing on yourself. I know I've said it before. I'm going to keep saying it again. And it's hard because we have life stressors. Like, I'm not diminishing that. Hello, my husband is still unemployed. We've got life stressors. But if we wake up in the morning and the first thing we're doing is we're stewing about all our stuff, let's step back and let's take a minute and be like, who can I text and say, how are you doing? I've been thinking about you. Can I pray for you? Or be like my friend and be like, if you love baking, I'm going to make so-and-so a dozen cookies or whatever. Like, that's the thing. It's going to light you up. The moment we take the focus off of ourselves, it just changes. And then all of a sudden we are looking to honestly kind of fill a need, right? When we're not looking at our own needs to fill, we just, that the whole feminine heart thing kicks in. And we're maybe looking into maybe having coffee with somebody you haven't talked to in a while, or maybe they're going through a hard time too. 2 people having a hard time having coffee might be a bad thing, might be a good thing. You be the good thing, okay? You show up with the joy. All right, so number 1, you're going to stop focusing on yourself. Step number 2, You're going to focus on what lights you up. I think when we find what lights us up, and it's starting, like I said, we're starting simple here. We're not doing crazy things, but the more we lean into us and who we were created to be, and we stop trying to be an apple when we're a banana, and the more we also are looking to God and we're asking Jesus what would he say and how he sees us, and the more that we are pulling all of that into our heart, we're pulling all of that into our mind, the more we are going to live in purpose, the more he's going to show us, the more opportunities we're going to have. And guess what? It's probably going to be a little bit scary. You're probably going to have to do some vulnerable things that you might not normally do. You're probably, you know what, I'm just going to say it right now. I'm going to say that living in purpose requires you to live outside of your comfort zone. Yep, I think so. Because you can live in a safe purpose, but who wants to live in a safe purpose? Because the more you live in your purpose, the more it's like, it's the ripple effect, right? Like Vianne from Chocolat. She just kept making that chocolate. She loved making chocolate. She started making community. She started affecting more and more lives, and on it goes. It's a ripple effect. It's like the wife of noble character, right? It doesn't just stop. You don't just stop, okay? But the whole time, you're still working on your heart because you're addressing those stories that are going to come. Like, it's all connected. Do you get it? Like, do you see how it's all connected? But it's all so good because it's going to bring you to that whole version of you. And when you are whole and you are functioning in that full version of you, whoever you come in contact with, they're going to feel it. And they're going to want to find that same wholeness and that same themselves. You're going to enable them to embrace themselves. Number 3 is a gooder. Okay. Living in our purpose will always require us to know and believe and hold on to God's truth about us. We can't live in purpose without accepting that we are loved and we are amazing and we are chosen and we are worth it and we do belong and that there is a place for us. And honestly, the world needs you. Somebody needs you. Someone needs you. Someone needs your friendship. Someone needs your hug. Someone needs your cookies. Someone needs your your text. Someone needs your compliment. Someone needs your kind words. I mean, there's so many ways, but I can promise you, somebody needs you. And the minute we start living in our purpose, it's going to push us to dive into those truths and accept them. And we know that's hard. We know that, remember in the episode when I was talking about like the reading in Psalm 23, how I got teared up about the unworthiness. I didn't know that was a story I had. I didn't know that was a belief that I had. But the minute you start living in your purpose, those stories are going to come up. And those, we're going to dig into the truth. We're going to look at the lies. They're going to come up. We know it, the stories, but we're going to battle them. Go back to the first few episodes. We're going to battle them with the truth of how God sees us. We're going to say, what would Jesus say? We know he would love us. Okay, a little recap on the points. Number 1, stop focusing on yourself. Number 2, what lights you up? And number 3, do know that this is going to require you to dive into God's truths about you. You guys, it's just a circle. It's all connected. It's all connected. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this quote. It's by Stephen Furtick. He said it one day in a sermon, and I loved it. I wrote it down. And it's kind of contradictory to what we are used to hearing. We always hear, we're never given more than we can handle. But he said a quote the other day. He said, God will always give us more than we can handle because it's his insurance policy. And I love that, because when in life do we feel like we can handle everything? We can't. But that's why he's there. He is there for us to lean on him. And in this circumstance, it's okay. As we lean into purpose, we're going to lean into God. He's going to meet us there because that's his insurance policy. I love that. For homework this week, we are just going to continue to think on this whole concept of what lights us up. I mean, if you, even from last episode, if you have little things that you thought of that lit you up, or even just small little things that really like resonated with you, because honestly, when you're living in your purpose, it's going to resonate with you, which is going to resonate with other people. So share them with me in the comments. If you're not comfortable there, share them over in the Facebook group. But I want you to just this summer, let's just embrace ourselves. Let's choose to start to live a little bit out of that comfort zone. Let's pray and ask God to give us those little ideas. If we get stuck and you are overwhelmed, maybe you are overwhelmed right now, I want you to just like take a deep breath and be like, nope, God has a plan. I was made for more, and I'm not going to do any of this alone. That's the amazing part. We do none of this alone. Okay. I don't even remember if I prayed when I started this episode, so I'm going to pray now, and then I will see you next week. Okay, Jesus, thank you so much for this time together. Thank you that you created us all so special, so unique, with different amazing giftings, and I pray that as this week goes along and the summer goes along, that you will teach us how to love ourselves, how to see ourselves how you do, and just give us little ideas. Give us those little ideas that we can bless other people, that we can meet a need, bring the right people into our lives, open the doors that need to be opened, Jesus. And I ask and thank you that you are always with us and that you think we are amazingly and wonderfully made. And I ask that you would just bless this day and the week. In your name we pray, amen. Thanks for being here, guys. See you next time.